Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Randip and Dan for another video, and this time we're focusing on the Alberta teams. Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames are tearing up the NHL, tearing up the Western Conference, Dan. How much do you believe in these starts? Let's start with the Edmonton Oilers.
How much do I believe in the Edmonton Oilers? Okay, they're obviously a playoff team. I said they would disappoint in our earlier video,
They're
and
undefeated right now.
they are undefeated, so not looking great. But here's the thing about Edmonton: they've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. We know, but it's like one of those movies that has a great, all-star cast, but in the end, the movie has some moments, but it ends up disappointing. That's what I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to be yet again this year. That is the Oilers, a great all-star cast, but in the end, it will disappoint. This team is outperforming a bunch of its peripheral numbers right now. They do not do a good job of controlling the overall shot share. They rely a lot on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Their shooting percentages are through the roof. Those are going to obviously sustain to a certain level, but there will be some regression, and Zach Hyman isn't going to score at the incredible pace he's been at so far for this season. Plus, they've gotten better goaltending than they should to this point. Even with the Mike Smith injury, there hasn't been a huge drop off there. I just see some regression to the mean coming back a little bit for the Oilers. They're still a playoff team, but I'm not sure they're a juggernaut the way that they've looked so far early this season.
Okay, I was high on the Edmonton Oilers before the season started, and I'm going to remain high on them because why wouldn't you? Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl are doing exactly what they are designed to do. And you talk about they're too reliant. Well, of course they are. That's who the Edmonton Oilers are. You're going to bank on your superstars to pick up points. Connor McDavid's on pace for 200 plus points. He's not going to get that. He might get 150. Leon Draisaitl, he might definitely get near that as well, based on the way that these guys are playing. So are they too reliant? Absolutely. But that's how this machine is designed. They're designed to pick up points. Those guys, they have more balance down the lineup as well. I like that. And you look at that division right now, Dan. The Vegas Golden Knights are hurting, literally. They've got, some of their most important stars out of the lineup right now. They're not playing all that great hockey to start off the year. So what does that mean for the Edmonton Oilers? That means you're making inroads in that division. You're building a cushion. And that's why I look at the Oilers and I say, okay, offensively, they're solid. All the criticism of Duncan Keith and that deal, he's looking pretty decent right now on the back end as well. You look at the amount of goals that they've allowed, they look playing solid. And maybe the goaltending is not sustainable, but in the short term, if you would have told me that Mike Smith would be injured and Mikko Koskinen would be picking up wins, I would have been shocked preseason. But it's happening right now, and that should boost the confidence that the Oilers have. They've got two of the best players in the game. They got the high-end talent, better depth. I'm a believer in this team, and I'm more of a believer with their start because you know what they also look like, Dan? They look like a confident team. How many times have we been able to say that in Edmonton over the last 3 or 4 years? They actually look like the role this year, which makes it a little bit different than previous years.
Yeah, they still have the big question mark. They're kind of like Leafs West, okay, we do all these great things.
That's too harsh. Come on.
What? You're going to just forget about their playoff performances the last couple of years? They got swept by Winnipeg. They lost to Chicago a couple of years ago in the play-in round. I mean, that's not good enough for this team and the amount of talent that they have. They're going to be judged in the first round of the playoffs. That's why I made the reference that I did earlier on. And I'll say this, okay, on a positive note for the Oilers, the biggest development that they've had so far this season is the play of Evan Bouchard, who's been really, really good. And they've needed that on their decor on the right side. It's really helped them get over the loss of Adam Larson, who was really strong for them last year. I think Evan Bouchard, of course, high-end first-round pick, has really developed well. They've brought him along slowly through the A, had really good success in the A. Now you're starting to see it at the NHL level. I think they've done a really good job with developing Evan Bouchard, and it's showing early this season.
Evan Bouchard, of course, and on the high end as well, they overpaid in some people's eyes for Zach Hyman, but it doesn't matter in the short term. He is providing a lot of, offensive output, and he's being a very good player for that team in that system. Can they keep it up? They're not going to go undefeated the entire season. We know that, but can they be the number one team in the Pacific Division? Can they eventually, Vegas is going to come with a push at some point in time. Can Edmonton continue to do that and stretch this over 82 games? All right. Edmonton looking good. So is Calgary. And I got to say, I was really low on the Calgary Flames before the preseason or during the preseason. My predictions are they're being thrown in my face on Twitter and on the People Show on Sportsnet 650 as well. I know Flames fans are not exactly happy. 4-1-1 to start off the year. They're looking very, very good with Daryl Sutter. Do you believe in this team? Because I don't know if I do, but how about you first, Dan?
Well, I just want to make sure everybody gets after you the next time the Flames are on Hockey Night in Canada, Punjabi, and they make sure you remember the slander you threw the Flames' way and Daryl Sutter's way prior to the season beginning. Look, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't too far away from you on the Flames, but I've been really impressed with their early start and some of the games they've won on the road in the East. That's impressive. And okay, we know what Daryl Sutter's trying to do. They're getting more goals than maybe we expected them to lately, but this is a team that wants to play defense. They want to muck it up. And right now, Daryl Sutter is getting the buy-in from that roster. And that's what they've needed in Calgary for a long time. And I think the important part of that when it comes to getting the buy-in on this defensive style from Daryl Sutter is they are getting the results to show for it as well. As much as you can maybe take a moral victory here and there, like, hey, tonight really worked all that well, we just didn't get the result. You need the results to really reinforce with the group that what they are doing and the commitments they are making are working. And right now, it's hard to deny that for the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, Daryl Sutter's strategy of it's better to be feared than loved is working right now. He's definitely, the disciplinarian aspect is working. And I didn't believe in them heading into the year, but their system is working. They're giving up a lot of shots, but nothing of substance. It's nothing underneath. It's nothing in a high danger area. The one area that I will say that I'm really impressed by, and I don't think is sustainable, Elias Lindholm and Mangiapane, your boy,
Andrew Mangiapane. Let's go.
Mangiapane is tied with Alexander Ovechkin for the league scoring right now. That's not going to last, but it's a good run right now. The one thing I would say about the Calgary Flames, and yes, I am impressed. I'm not going to be a complete hater and say, hey, Calgary's going to, fall off the map. But the one area I look at them and say it is not sustainable is goal scoring 5-on-5. If you look at the chances created, they're bottom 5 in the league. So that is an area, high danger chances, I should mention. And that's an area where you're saying, okay, great start to the year. They're putting up goals, but can they continue to do it at this rate? Probably not. Who is this? What is this team's profile? It's a team that doesn't create much. So even though they started off the year very, very well, and we're seeing some offensive explosions from, players like Lindholm and Mangiapane, I don't expect that to go forward. And at some point, they're going to regress to the team we saw a little bit last year that had trouble scoring. So I think this is a good start, but mark my words, they're coming back down to earth offensively, and you're going to see some grinded out games. That was a problem. Scoring was a problem from them last year as well, Dan. I expect that eventually to happen. With Edmonton, I don't expect that to happen because they have the high-end talent. I still have questions about the high-end talent in Calgary.
I'll say this, Andrew Mangiapane might come back down to earth a little bit, but when maybe Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk start scoring a little bit more, that's the thing about depth right now with the Calgary Flames is they're getting the goals from players outside of their big group. And I know like Daryl Sutter's made some big calls already early this season, demoting Sean Monahan at times through the lineup. He's looking to get the most out of those guys, and the results are coming even while those guys are working through it. So there's reason to believe that, okay, maybe this guy drops off a little bit, but somebody else could step up. That's the bright picture scenario for the Calgary Flames. And don't you doubt Andrew Mangiapane, okay? This guy is having another breakout year after he broke out last year. He is just looking like an absolute find for the Calgary Flames right now. Hell of a player.
This is no disrespect to Artemi Panarin, but we know Mangiapane is the real bread man when it comes to nicknames in the NHL. I will say this, though. When Chris Tanev is scoring for the Calgary Flames, things are going really well offensively because he doesn't score much at all. So shouts to Tanev and shouts to Calgary Flames fans. You're doing well for now. Just keep an eye on that situation as you move forward across as the NHL season goes. Hit us up in the comments. Do you believe in the Edmonton Oilers start? Do you believe in the Calgary Flames start? Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you next time.